Hello to all, my name's Jim, and we're going to do a wedding bouquet, a little more difficult today, but I'm going to try to keep it simple. It's a cascading bouquet. The flowers that I picked are actually very reasonable in cost. That they're bush flowers. The quality is somewhat on the lower side, but I don't think you're going to see the difference. On some of the higher quality, the stems are nicer. We're not going to see the stems. We aren't even going to use any of these leaves. A few tools, not many. Wire cutters, scissors, I think is all I'm using, and a glue gun is all that I think I'm going to use on this project. So what I did with this is I took my wire cutters and I cut off, made them as long as I possibly could off the stem, and I cut all the flowers off of both of these. Cut all the flowers off, and then I pulled the leaves off. I don't like the leaves. When you're looking to buy the silk flowers, you can't get everything you want in one bush, so you combine 2 or 3 bushes that you like. So again, I don't care for this leaf, so and think out of the box. It's easier to get it off. I pull the head off, pull the leaf off. Might keep the leaves for another project, or might use those to hide. Again, so I just have all my flowers, no leaves. Again, on my rose buds, it had a little bit of baby's breath I kept. I slid it up where it would be seen. Again, I take all the leaves off because I don't care for the leaves. If you like the leaves, then I would have pushed them up. Okay, on a cascading, to make it easy, is if you get any type of ivy bush, and this is basically your whole form that you're going to attach everything to the ivy. So I'm taking the ivy bush, and this is my cascade. That's where the bride will hold here. This is what she'll hold in front of herself. So the shorter parts of this bush, I fan out. Whoops, take all the price tags off. The shorter part of this bush, I'm fanning out, and that is the round part. And then the runners of this bush are my cascading part. So I am going to shape, and if I think it's too much, I'm going to cut these out. Again, it's an extra. I don't think I want it. And I think I want to cut this one out. I think it's too much. Okay, so that's my base. Okay, I'm going to hold on. I have my roses, and I picked a ranunculus that I liked. So again, I'm going to even leave it completely attached. And I'm going to put this right in the center. And again, I'm going to just pull these around. Okay? Then I'm going to take my bush flowers, and that I cut apart, and I'm just going to get my center done. Some of these roses had the little baby's breath on it, so I'm putting some with baby's breath and some without in. These little ranunculus, now I'm pulling up more in the center. Holding on as I go. Sometimes you get hand cramps. Okay, I'm pretty much done with my center, I believe. So what I do at this point is I like cable ties. Whoops. Long reach, sorry. So I will get a cable tie and put this on, and it'll hold everything together. It's pretty snug, but I can still pull up and push down and arrange my roses if I want. Whoops, pulled too hard. One nice thing on the silk, then you just stick it right back on. A little too tight. There, I pulled it up. Okay, this fell off, but I'm going to show you a trick we're going to do. That's fine. I was going to pull some off anyway. A little later. Okay, we're still working on the top round part. That some of this green, if it's too long, you just snip it off, pull the end off, whoops, a little glued on, and then put this right back on because for me it was just a little too tall. Same way here. This one's a little too tall for me, so I'm going to pull the top off, snip the metal stem, and put the leaf right back on. Now if you don't want to cut, sometimes you can just push and bend it in. Okay. Now, this comes the tricky part. I'm going to work on it kind of upside down so you can see it easier. This is the cascade. I will take the rose, pull the rose off and the baby's breath, and on this particular bush, now put on my old man glasses, there are lots of nubs, and I picked it for that reason. And you can just put that on even without glue, and it's secure. You see the direction I'm going? I'm kind of working upside down, but there we're going. I also do the same with the large rose that I want a little lower. Might put 2 large roses cascading down. If you're worried about these falling off, you could hot glue each one in. Okay. Now looking, I think I need something right here possibly, but what I might even do, I'm still going to show you a trick with this. I might put one more large right here. Let's see if I can find something to attach it to. Nice and cascading. Might pull this out a little bit, make it a little larger at the top. We have enough roses kind of buried in there. Okay. What I didn't do at the bottom is put a little baby's breath. So this time I'm going to run a long baby's breath stem right in with my handle, and then I'm going to just lay this down. I'm going to work that in just in a minute, but I'm going to put another cable tie to hold that on so I don't have to worry about it. I'm going to cut my first cable tie off, so I just kind of hard for me to see, but looking pretty good. Let me look at that. Let me separate this. Now I'm showing you telling a trick. With this last little ranunculus, I'm going to pull these off. And again, this time I am going to hot glue. And again, because these don't, they might stay. They're the right, oh yeah, I didn't have to glue them. Seeing where I have, you know what, I'm actually going to take this one off and put a little one on farther down. Take off two of those larger. I think it's very attractive. Now, what I'm critiquing myself, that I think I want some more baby's breath up here. And again, I have two of the stems, but instead of putting the whole stem, I'm going to cut it. And I'm going to separate it. This is a nice baby's breath. It has a nice wire. And I'm going to put a little bit of hot glue. And there's enough in here that it will stick to something. And when I'm done, I'll try to pull them to see if they are glued, but it should. I won't take the time and effort to take it all back down to the handle because I don't think it's necessary. If you didn't even want the baby's breath, you could even hot glue in jewels at this point, or ribbon tufts. Years ago, we would take everything all the way back down and wire it into the handle, but hot glue has changed the whole designing world. We'll go ahead and use this. We have it. Okay, so there we are. I think it looks pretty good. Get rid of the glue strings. I don't think we have the other greenery. We could put it in. I don't think I am. I think I like it. I like the little ranunculus that are farther down. Looks very natural. I think we're done at this point. Now what we need to do, well here, found one more. Let's put it in. We have a few extra roses we might put in later. We'll see. We can always hot glue them in. Okay, now you say, what do I do with the handle? It's ugly. And it is ugly. The cable ties on there. At this point, I will get a wire, or a couple wires. The cable tie is good to hold it as you're working, but I think it's too encumbersome and too much to hide when you're wrapping the handle. So I will tie off my bouquet where the cable tie is with wire, floral wire, and I will get, just so it's tight, I'm going to get another cable tie. I end up cutting the cable ties off, but I want these stems tight, and you can't hold them that tight on your own or with the wire. The wire, if you pull that tight, it'll cut your hands. You tie the bouquet off at 2 places so the flower stems will not slide on you. Okay. You have to watch, you don't want to cut the wire you just put on, or it'll all fall apart. You do have 2 wires. There we go. Okay. Now the wires are intact. Now the stems, we don't like the stems. In this case, we didn't have any real attractive stems, so we're going to wrap everything with ribbon. Okay, so there we've cut all of our excess off. The trick on the ribbon, on this I've got a little bit of glue on my ribbon, but when you do when you wrap the whole stem, you want to hide the end first. And so what I will do with a little bit of the ribbon, I got a little too much. A little hot glue. And I run this right over the bottom. Oops, a little more hot glue. So you put your bottom on first. Then I start with my glue, or glue. See that first piece that we put in, now it's very easy and the bottom is covered and it looks very done. And without putting that first piece on, you can never get that look. So I started up, I worked down, and then I worked back up. Then when I get it to where I like it, I don't know why. Your stem, I'm going to fold the raw edge of the ribbon over. You can have the stem as long as you want it. It is a personal preference. I've seen some of the stems wrapped and they're a foot long. I personally don't like the longer stems. It's just more harder for the bride to handle. Okay, we're going to do one other thing here because I don't like, since we used lesser expensive bushes, I don't like the bottom. At this point, this is the leaves that we kept, or the extra leaves, so I'm going to work on it from the bottom, and I'm going to pull these leaves off. Just pull them off the base. Don't want the base, all I want is the fabric. And then with the leaf, I'm going to hot glue, and I'm just going to glue these to the bottom of those stems because I don't think those stems are attractive because they're so thin. If they were more lifelike stems, I would leave them showing. You can overlap a little bit on the ribbon, which is not a problem. See, the bottom's now looking even better. Instead of these stems, I'm putting these leaves. Don't know if you can see. with leaves, without leaves. Not much extra work, but definitely looks more finished. I'm doing pretty good. I haven't burnt myself yet. If you all have worked with hot glue guns, you know the experience. Definitely think more finished on the bottom. Let's see. Looks great. Again, the nice thing with silks, when you critique, like this one is covering up that bloom. You can tuck it under, but it seems like it's going to hide. So instead of any tucking, I'm just going to cut it off because I don't want it. It was hiding this rose and the little ranunculus. Sometimes this one too, I think, I don't care for. Okay, I think I like it. Again, if you want a leaf is in the way, cut it off. Oh, did forget, the baby's breath that I stuck in, see it's not, whoops, that one did come out. I thought it wasn't, but let's see. So I'll pull it out, re-glue it, see if I can catch on a hold. That one's fine, that one's there, that's there, that's there, this one isn't. I think we're fine. Done project. Everyone says I make things look easy, but I've done it a few times. Thanks.